Greetings.
Hello everyone. Today I just wanted to make a super short, super simple video on how exactly I do the Zul Grub mage pull here in 2021. I think it's a lot simpler now than it was back in the day, and I have had a ton of people come into my stream lately and ask for advice on how I'm doing this, because the truth is, I think the Zul Grub pull is probably, if not the best gold per hour, one of the tops that's usually probably boosting as well. So I'm making this video just to help people out who come into my stream so they can see exactly what I'm thinking and what I'm doing when I do the Zul Grub pull. So my goal in this is to be simple, so if you're new to Zul Grub boosts or you're learning it, hopefully there'll be something you can learn in this video. But there are a couple things real quick before we start the run that I want to say. So number one is, I consider this like learning a combo in a fighting game. So be prepared to mess it up a bunch of times. Don't be ready to charge people for a while. Took me about 10-15 runs before I got it. Could take you more, could take you less. Hopefully it'll take you less if you watch this video. But be prepared to die, okay? You be prepared to die a bunch. Don't expect to get it your first time. And again, treat it like a combo in a fighting game. Go piece by piece. I'm going to try to explain every single important thing that I can that's going through my mind. And if you make a mistake, try to go back to where I was, see what you did wrong, and keep going. I know you can do this. People come in all the time asking if I think it's easy to learn. I don't know if it's necessarily easy to learn, but I know that you can do it. And if you do it once, you can do it a million times. So let's try to get you to do it once. So with that out of the way, some things that I would recommend: have every single one of your mana gems conjured. A lot of people don't talk about this, and a lot of people don't know this, but you can have your mana ruby, your mana jade, and your mana citrine, as well as your agate. So have all those made, ready to go. You don't need the best gear for this. A lot of people say you need 5 pieces of tier 3. I have never had it. I just do it with this. Obviously, my gear on this guy is okay, but there's tons of videos online of people doing this naked, and honestly, I think you could, but gear helps. Gear helps, but I don't think it's absolutely important. So get the best gear you can. Obviously, stamina and intellect's the way to go. I have a staff of dominance with 22 int because I love intellect. So try to get as much int and stam as you can, and definitely move speed on your boots. So another thing is, when it comes to things like the Zanza and the ZG buff, I actually don't really think those are that important, because if you go too far, you can pull berserkers. So in this video, speaking of berserkers, I want to kind of go over my super simple way to handle berserkers as well. A lot of people have trouble with berserkers. Tons of people wipe because of them, and it makes sense. They're a pain in the ass. But before we get into the run, make sure you have a nifty stopwatch, or if you don't have a stopwatch, at least have a Skull of Impending Doom. You'll see why later in the video. I use these to basically negate shitty berserker RNG. So be sure to get one, if not both these items. You need the skull because the stopwatch has a 30-minute cooldown. So try to get the skull and the stopwatch, but you really do need the skull, and I'll show you why in a minute. So with that out of the way, let's get into the run, and I'll show you exactly what I'm thinking when I do this, and hopefully it'll help somebody out. All right. This is going to be a little bit raw and off the cuff, but as soon as you enter the instance, you're going to have your boosties pay you ASAP, because this way you can catch a berserker before you go. Now, for my runs, I always use about 3 light feathers and 1 lip. You can technically do it without a lip, but trust me, a lip just makes this so much simpler and easier. It's worth the like 2 gold to make it. So we jump off the cliff here. We're pulling these axe throwers, which is going to give our boosties time to get to the safe spot, which is the middle of the waterfall there. So we pull those and we blink. Some people light feather here, but it doesn't really matter because there's a berserker that pats back right there. So in my opinion, it's better to just save the light feathers, since it's really not worth it. So coming up to the first important thing of the run, though, this is a safe spot. So if you're ever in a bad spot during the pull, because we're going to be in the kill phase over here, you can always jump off, lip, and run to this safe spot if you really need a reset. So keep that in mind. The reset spot is also great, because if you're having trouble with the bridge jump, you can just run to the reset spot, and pull just this. Wow, that's really ominous the way they're looking over there, huh? But you can just pull this 1 pack of crocs and practice the bridge jump. And if you mess up, just go ahead and lip and run to the tree. So kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, like, make sure you have lips and you're ready to lose them, because you're going to die doing this a couple times. And lips kind of help you reset if you're dying on the bridge phase. So, all right. These guys have wiped me so many times on stream. I hate admitting it, but it's true. They hit like a truck and they hit really fast. So if you get like double critted by these things, it's just over. So what I like to do is kind of bait them into attacking, and as soon as they start coming in, we Nova into a blink, right? So I wait, I Nova, and I blink right through him. Right, so that's kind of the safe way to avoid the Sons of Akar. And then when I run, I also am running basically just down the middle of that ridge there. So here's one very important part that a lot of people get confused about, and that is the berserkers. I don't want you guys overthinking the berserkers. So many people overthink the berserkers. If you have a Skull of Impending Doom or a stopwatch, you basically get 2 out of jail free cards when it comes to the berserkers, because the one that's going to cause you problem is the one up here when we get dismounted. You can get dismounted, and sometimes you got a stopwatch or skull off. And the one back in that area is the killer. That is by far the thing I get the most questions about. And I'll show you what I do there if we get a bad Zerker. But as long as you wait for this Zerker to cross this branch, you're good. So I wait for him to cross. I re-up both my shields. Sometimes I'll eat or drink just a little bit to get full mana, or as close as I can. And now that he's past that, and that this is a fresh instance ID, I know that I'm ready to pull. If you want to be really careful, like let's say you wipe or something, if you wipe, sometimes it is worth it to run up here and look to the left, just to be like extra careful that a Zerker isn't pathing to the right here. So I might be a little sloppy because I'm not used to talking so much when I do this, but I guess when I stream I do sometimes. But if that Zerker is pathing towards us, you're going to have a bad time. So run here, try not to get dismounted. If you do, it's not the end of the world. You can blink into a slow fall here, and you'll usually have enough time to get away from these tigers. But you group all these tigers up, blink down, or sorry, slow fall down here. I like to hold my blink, and this part right here is key. Wait just a second before you jump. Wait 2 seconds even sometimes. You don't want them to be too far behind, and this is one of my personal things. This is why I don't use the Zanza. If you're too far behind, sometimes it will pull this Zerker over here. So you can see I counterspelled that pack into a blink. I'm trying to save as much health and mana here as I can, obviously. So if you Nova that pack, you should take no damage. Sometimes you'll get hit, but hey, that's why God invented Ice Barrier, right? So as long as you keep an Ice Barrier or Mana Shield up, you're good. Also, don't be afraid to use Mana Gems while you're running and get that cooldown going. That's why it's so cool that you can make all of them, in my opinion. You jump into that line of the tree there. As soon as, like, that rigid part of the tree, that's where you jump into it. It kind of looks like Tomb Raider's boobs. Like that line. You jump right into it. So this is the killer right here. You counterspell that pack, jump over the rock, onto the lip, blink, try to Nova as many as you can. If you don't get all of them, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes you get resisted, unlucky. So I'm going to pretend a Berserker is right here, right? So I'll show you what I do. I go ahead and I skull into a slow fall, and I jump on this lip. I don't even go up there. I jump on this lip, and then I jump around this bamboo tree, and you can right-click your fleet. I have a macro for it, but I was just showing you there. You can totally right-click it. Go ahead and put your weapon on, blink into the tree, and you're good. You don't even have to go up where that Berserker is. If you have a stopwatch or a skull, you can just go right down to that lip and completely avoid the Berserker like that. It works 100% of the time. The movement speed from the skull or the stopwatch will guarantee you when you're slow falling that you get enough distance. That, I didn't see that on any YouTube video. That took me way too many times of dying to figure out. So heed my warning and just make sure like you're always having your skull or your stopwatch. It's just a lifesaver right there, and it just allows you to ignore all the Zerkers. So as you can see, we counterspelled into a slow fall there. I blink when the first croc kicks me into an ice barrier. 180 cone of cold. You don't have to do all that, but it definitely helps. Group them up. Lip at the last possible second. As long as you can hold it, the better. And then around 1 second, I go ahead and I Nova. Sometimes you get a perfect Nova, and well, I make my chat type Pog when that happens, but we didn't get a perfect Nova here. Sometimes you'll get the Soul Flares. I want you to jump into a blink, and that will allow you to avoid the Soul Flares if they're on that edge. So that is how I do the run. I can get these runs down. I've gotten to around 10 minutes exactly now. Then it's just all about the bridge phase. So the bridge phase, again, don't be afraid to use your jewels on cooldown. The bridge phase, I run here. I usually like to group them up before, but you don't have to. If you don't want to, you can just run to the safe spot, which as a gnome, I do in between the 3rd and 4th rope. So I jump and do a blizzard. Now you can blizzard them while they're coming up if that's how you group them up, but any way you're comfortable with juggling is how I want you to juggle. That is why at the start, I was recommending you practice on the reset spot. Sometimes I like to wait until they're coming down the bridge and just jump up immediately. And sometimes I just group them up while they're running. However you're comfortable juggling, I want you to juggle. So right now what I'm doing is I'm fishing for clear casts. I'm not even the right spec for this. You should have Arcane Meditation. But I'm just fishing for clear casts with my rank 1 Blizzard. Not panicking. I know that I'm totally safe as long as I'm hitting these bridge jumps, which, again, I practice. But the one thing to consider when you are here are the cubs. So try to target a cub and monitor their health. They are actually dangerous. When they get to 30%, they can flee. And ever since the batching changed like a day or two ago, I've noticed them fleeing a lot weirder. So you want to be sure that when you get one cub to 30%-ish, you max rank Blizzard and just kill them immediately. And the reason you're looking at one is because, well, I mean, you're all getting AoE'd, right? So you don't have to monitor all of them. So I'm just sitting here fishing for clear casts. I'm happy I'm not getting that lucky with it as well, just because I can show you that rank 1 Blizzard really does the job. It will get you those clear casts, and if you're prepared with all your mana items, you'll be all right. So I'm looking at the Zulian Cub, watching his health here. I'm probably gonna max rank Blizzard after this one because he's in the 30%. He's just on the edge, so I'm gonna max rank here and try to get all those cubs down. Because again, the cubs are the dangerous thing in the bridge phase here. And if this jumping on the bridge looks complicated, which I'm sure it does to some of you guys, practice, practice, practice. Come in here. Just pull the pack on the other side of this cliff and just come practice your jumps. So while we're here, I can tell you I have gotten 5 epics from this so far. A Hand of the Edward Odd, a Skullflame Shield, which was like 1,000 gold, super hyped on that. A Dwarven Hand Cannon, a Jeweled Amulet of Kaothrine or whatever it's called, and a Brain Hacker. So yes, you're going to get a lot of loot from this, and yes, you're going to get a lot of gold from this from your boosties. And if you're not dying, and if you're getting a lot of lucky clear casts, you can easily get this run down to like 9.5 minutes, which is just insane. The fact that you can only do 5 dungeons an hour and you're doing it in less than 10 minutes basically means that you're gonna be going so fast you're gonna have to wait. So that's kind of what you're looking for, honestly. If you're forced to wait because of lockouts, you're doing the right thing. That's what I think. So I've made thousands and thousands of gold. I think I started on this character at around 2K. And I've been streaming him for only a week and a half, and we're up to almost 12 now. So, we just broke 11. So it's insane, and it's really easy. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay, I really don't want to stress that. I can't stress that enough. It looks so much harder than it is. If you practice it, if you're willing to lose, if you go piece by piece, you'll be fine. So just remember, your best friends for pulling is Counterspell. And your best friends for staying alive are obviously your shields and your Nova. So hopefully this helps some of you guys out. If you have any questions, obviously leave them in the comments below. I'm streaming every single day over on Twitch and a little bit on YouTube lately. But if you got a sec, I'd kill for a follow over on Twitch. And again, any questions, come into the stream. I'll try to help you out. I'll try to hook you up. So don't get discouraged. Be ready to lose. Bring your lips. Bring your life feathers. And try to have fun, dude. It's all about having fun. And real quick before I leave this off, I hope that the boosting meta will change when we get the pre-patch. It will. This probably won't work when we get the pre-patch. You're gonna have to start weaving in flavor strikes and stuff. So I'll probably update the video around then. But I just wanted to make this now to hopefully help some people out because man, I've been getting a lot of questions about it. So I'm starting to ramble, guys. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Brock. Actually, should I show the loot? I'll go show the loot. Somebody's watching right now and wants me to show the loot. Hang on. Who knows? We might get a T-Booze, man. All these coins, all the Bijus, a fat 1 roll. It really is insane gold per hour. It's so good that I'm almost hoping that something happens to the boost meta, because I'll be honest with you guys, I kind of miss being out in the world and farming items and stuff, but you gotta do what you gotta do to stay ahead with the competition, right? So, no purples this time, but tune into my stream, and maybe we'll get one then. So, hopefully this helps somebody. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Barack Age, and I will see you guys in the next one.